Well, viewers, first up. Now, imagine a head of a state pushing all his state resources, intelligence teams, and even top-level police officers to track every movement of the people he doesn't trust, his opponents, and even his adversaries. Sounds like it's straight out of a movie about a notorious tyrant, but if confessions and investigation details are to be believed, well, this was the state of affairs in the BRS-ruled government under former Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao. Now, in a sensational update to the alleged Telangana phone tapping scandal under KCR, retired senior police officer P. Radhakishan Rao has confessed now to his involvements in an extensive surveillance operation. According to his statement to the Hyderabad police now, Rao admits to tapping the phones of several opposition leaders, including those from Congress and the BJP, as well as BRS's own leaders and senior journalists as well. In fact, family members of the current Chief Minister Ravula Reddy weren't spared. Now, this covert operation was allegedly directly orchestrated by former Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao and Telangana Special Intelligence Bureau. Radhakishan here also revealed that Prabhakar Rao, the former SIB chief, selected officers from his community and even other trusted individuals within the intelligence department to work secretly for the BRS party. Not only were they really keeping track of the movements of their opponents, but KCR allegedly also had plans to use this data from the 2022 MLA's poaching case and arm twist the BJP into dropping enforcement directorate cases. This is against his daughter K. Kavita. She's in prison right now with this case, of course, that has been registered. Now, the aim was to ensure BRS's victory in the 2023 assembly elections. But when that didn't happen, the former state intel chief directed his officers to erase all evidence. And this is of the covert operations that were going on. Now, Radhakishan Rao confesses to destroying data on his phone, while a team led by arrested DYSP Praneeth Rao formatted related data at the SIB. In fact, when people on the watch list shifted to encrypted communications to avoid detection, the then SIB chief, Prabhakar Rao, allegedly directed the team to track calls using internet protocol data records. This raises several questions, viewers. Do these charges dent the opposition's democracy in danger narrative? KCR changed his party name for his national ambitions, but why such insecurity and desperation in his own state is the question that comes up.
से काम नहीं करते, जनता की ईमानदारी सेवा नहीं करते, वो इस प्रकार के अपराध और फोन टेपिंग कराना, किसी क्रिमिनल केस में फंसाना, इस प्रकार के काम करते हैं। मुझे बहुत दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है कि आज ये पर्दाफाश हो रहा है और सत्य है कि विपक्ष जो जितना भी है वो सारा का सारा अपनी सत्यता पे, मेहनत और सेवा पे काम नहीं कर रहा, वो लोगों को फंसाकर अपने आप को राजनीति करना चाहता है और ये पर्दाफाश होना दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और मुझे लगता है कानून भी उनसे संज्ञान लेगा, जो भी बनता होगा, जो भी होता होगा वो काम करेगा, लेकिन ये दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
Sir, a top police officer in Telangana has come out and said that he's alleged that Mr. KCR asked to snoop over other people, including political personalities.
Yes, that's what all the time. The dynasty politics, that's what we have been telling time and again, the dynasty politics of BRS, CRS, it's all been the same. Let it be Congress party, it's been the same. They always misuse power.
Dinakar Lanka of the BJP is with us today. Advocate Umer Junaidi, political analyst. Sridhar Reddy from the BRS is expected to join us very shortly. Arvind Kumar Jain, he's a retired senior IPS officer with us today. Let me take this across straight now to Dinakar Lanka. Mr. Lanka, very interesting now that these confessions have emerged, and the details of these confessions make this case even more interesting. There is speculation that somewhere they wanted to go after some of the BJP leaders allegedly involved in poaching of BRS MLAs and all the drama that unfolded there, and also get an upper hand against the BJP. Now, the problem here with this confession is to which level are politics being played and government state machineries being used to survive and play these politics, to gain an edge because there's an enforcement directorate case against some of the family members. What's really happening there in Telangana, Mr. Lanka?
It is absolutely a condemnable issue. We told when Honorable the then Chief Minister KCR was in office itself, we expressed our displeasure as far as telephone tapping is concerned. He made the telephone tapping of our the then party president Bandi Sanjay ji, our MP Arvind, and other BJP leaders as well as opposition party leaders and their family members' phones got tapped. Today, confession statement they had given, it is officially they had accepted the crime which happened. Data security and freedom of speech of the Telangana people, not only the BJP leaders and other opposition party leaders. Let you take the celebrities, various celebrities in film stars, and even business people phones also got tapped. That means the huge amount of the tactic, not only political tactic, they want to use it as a tool so as to get undue advantage, whether it is a political advantage from the opposition parties and financial and other businesses advantages by making allegations against the business people. And they had used operations against even film stars. That seems to be, it is very clear that even media houses heads like ABN channel and some other channels in Telugu channels, MD's phones also got tapped. That means they never spared anyone. I feel very strongly that even KCR, within his family members also, he got phone tapping. I have my own doubts because these kind of tactics they use when they lose confidence on themselves in order to obtain power and they continue the office as a chief minister. Definitely they need to get the confidence from the people by their administration instead of these kind of malafide intentions and illegitimate acts against to the citizens. It is absolutely objectionable. We raised our voice when the tapping was happened itself. Today, that Radhakishan and other DCP and other officers who they are allegedly involved, they openly came out and they explained the way in which the whole thing, what happened. The due protocols, even phone tapping for security reasons or any other reasons, whatever it is, if it is required, there are certain protocols, certain rules. They have to obtain permissions from the appropriate authority, from Ministry of Home Affairs, Union Ministry of Home Affairs. They haven't done, and they used all these. But my straight point is where this equipment obtained, how the funds have been provided also need to be investigated, because there are huge amount of corrupt amounts used for investment of getting these equipments used as a tool against the opposition political parties. There is a huge amount of the public exchequer, as the public exchequer misused.
I'll have Mr. Sridhar Reddy, who's now joined us as well from the BRS, respond. But before that, I'm sure the Congress, the Congress or Mr. Umer Junaidi, of course, who probably will toe the line of the Congress today, will have something to say about what's happening there in Telangana. Mr. Junaidi, quite interesting here. On one hand, the Congress keeps saying that, the BJP at the center and in multiple states is involved in snooping on journalists, on political rivals, on opposition parties. What's happening at the state of Telangana there?
Deepak, the BJP and the BRS are one and the same. The BJP in the center uses the Pegasus softwares to snoop the leaders of the oppositions, and the same is being done, was being done in Telangana by the BRS. But since the government has been formed in Telangana, all the sins of the BRS, all the sins of the BJP will be, in front of the public, and each and every party of a person who has involved in.
Well, how convenient, Mr. Junaidi, on one hand, now that BRS has been caught, or rather there are allegations that they're facing of phone tapping. Now you're saying that the BRS and the BJP are the same. On the other hand, when Kavita Reddy goes to prison, the BRS says, well, this is a ploy by the BJP against the BRS. Well, just merely saying that they're one and the same isn't going to justify, your statement.
Yeah,
because you time and again say that, well, BJP ruled states, this is a concern. Now you have another instance where it's not a BJP ruled state. Now it's very convenient for you to just say they're one and the same.
Deepak, what I'm trying to say is BRS is following the footsteps of BJP, and that is the reason KCR wanted to be the part of NDA alliance, and everything is in front of the public. What I'm trying to say is, whatever the BRS has done in the past in order to suppress the opposition and in order to disturb the democratic system of the country, the constitutional values of the country, this will not be working out in today's Telangana, because it is the Congress-led government in Telangana. Each and every person of the party who is involved in anti-constitutional activities or the activities to suppress the opposition will be, taken charge of. The investigation will be done, and whoever found to be guilty will be behind the bars, and the law will take its due course of action. So when there is Congress in Telangana and Congress in the entire country, it is similar to the constitutional values are being saved, which are now being destroyed by BJP and BRS. So the activity of BRS shows that
Now the question
it
is
was
the desperation
BRS
that
was
really, if
very
you
much-
have to use, phones to, or rather you have to tap the phones of journalists, political rivals, their family members, police officers, some within your own party, the fear or the desperation is something that's a big cause of concern. Mr. Reddy,
That is what-
the
this is-
BJP
that-
saying
that is what
this
the
probably
people of
will
Telangana
explode even
have
further,
rejected
Mr. Sridhar
BRS.
Reddy. What do you make of these allegations? Firstly, this is a top senior police officer and it's his confession. This is not some low-rung officer who is just, speaking out of thin air. These are some very serious allegations that are coming to the fore.
See, I mean, these allegations are not new. In the past 5 months, after the Congress assumed the power in the state, they have been making these allegations. And yes, cases were filed. 4 or 5
But
officers
this
were.
is not the Congress making this allegation. This is a confession of a senior police officer.
Confession is not the final, it's not a verdict of the court, right? Somebody was not made responsible out of it.
I'm
The
not
officer
saying
made
it's
a
the verdict of the
confession.
court. We are asking you a question based on now. Are you saying that his confession is completely false? You're saying that the Congress is making him say these things?
Not only me, Honorable former Chief Minister and our party president, Sri KCR, denied all these allegations in his last media conversation. And it is practically not possible for a DCP to take orders directly from the Chief Minister. And generally, Chief Ministers get a report of the intelligence from the senior most officers from the intelligence department. So whom they have intercepted, whose phones were tapped and all. Yes, now showing this convention statement, Congress or BJP or some other leaders might be pointing fingers towards BRS party or KCR, but the investigation is still in progress. And one convention statement cannot make somebody fully responsible for whatever they allegedly saying it happened. So we will see what is this convention statement all about, and we will look into it, and we will respond to it.
Okay. You're saying that you'll have to wait till the investigation completes and then that's when you'll respond. But this is definitely a strong confession. I want to bring in Mr. Arvind Kumar here. He's been a former IPS officer himself. One thing that I want you to clarify here, Mr. Jain, is the aspect that Mr. Reddy pointed out. He says that, DCP never reports to a chief minister. Yes, as far as protocol is concerned, you have the senior most officers of the state, of course, who go and brief the chief minister of daily affairs. But if you really need to snoop on somebody and if you have faith in particular officers, breaking this protocol, is it easy? Is that something that often happens? That's one aspect that I want you to touch down upon. And I really want to delve into the larger picture here. Snooping, phone tapping, these are not allegations that's limited to Telangana alone. We've heard that from Tamil Nadu, we've heard that from Karnataka. In fact, in Karnataka, we just heard it a couple of days ago, where the former Chief Minister, H.D. Kumaraswamy, who himself was charged in the past, or there were allegations that he was tapping people's phones, he went ahead and said in the Prajwal Revanna case that his phones were being tapped by the government. So these charges keep coming up. The question is, how do you put an end to it, and what level of desperation of political parties are reaching in the state to really, use these sort of methods to survive? It almost seems like that in this case. Mr. Jain.
Surveillance, monitoring of telephones, mobiles, was being done to work out cases, to trace criminals, to arrest them. And this is absolute mockery of the laws which are made. Let me make it clear: the Inspector General of Police of the area can give permission up to 7 days for call monitoring, for tracing, or looking into data CDR of criminals against whom IPC cases, serious IPC cases, are registered. Only then you get the permission, and after 7 days, permission is granted by Home Secretary of the state. In my opinion, what was being done in Telangana was absolutely illegal thing. I don't know what software these people were using, because several softwares, not only Pegasus, other softwares are also available, which by which they can trace the location of businessmen, industrialists, journalists, politicians, opponents. It can be done, and it is not very difficult for a DCP to have access to CM or of chief of intelligence department. I think he is absconding, Prabhakar Rao or something. Once he is caught and his statement is recorded, he'll come out with many such facts that on whose orders he was doing it. I don't agree with this, that DCP cannot
But
access,
Mr. Jain, to
cannot have direct
substantiate such
access
cases, like Mr. Reddy was pointing out, confessions probably, don't hold that much weightage as far as evidence in court is concerned. How do you really put together a case like this?
It's a very serious case. It's a criminal case, and nobody should be spared. Not even the former chief should be spared. This person, Radhakishan Rao, might be planning to become approver later on, but he will also have to go to jail, and only then he can apply for it. But I tell you, the activities which have come to notice, and the confession of Radhakishan Rao, it's something very serious. And police is not meant, intelligence agencies are not meant for this kind of job. And if they were being forced to do it, if they were doing it, they were conniving with the TRS government, and they were snooping on different sections of people. So this is very alarming. And so many times it has been repeated, because there have been scandals in the past also regarding this in the country. Always those instructions were repeated, that who is competent to give permission, and who is not competent to give permission. Without permission, and then I am told that they destroyed the evidence also, they destroyed computers also. So this is destruction of valuable evidence also. And
absolutely, it's a very important and a serious case. Right now the matter is still under investigation, but these details that are emerging as part of confessions are quite alarming. Mr. Reddy, one aspect that I want to really ask you in particular is, there's one part of the confession where he claims that there was an attempt to force the BJP into a compromise to get rid of the Enforcement Directorate cases against, KCR's daughter.
See, whatever confession statement what you're claiming, I also have seen it. How can we say that it is right? The question is that they could have said anything. Okay, that must be before any punch
Now,
or
this
whatever.
is a person who's under investigation. He's making these statements and he knows that he could get into trouble as well. And it's convenient, of course, to dismiss his statements. But when a senior police officer who's been arrested, and this is an allegation that he himself is facing. Now, while he's, of course, pointing out some aspects, he's pulling out some names, they're big in nature, and they're worrisome, of course, for a political party like yours. It's quite convenient to dismiss it completely, Mr. Sridhar.
See, at this juncture, let the police come out. What is this confession, statement all about? If they are actually pointing fingers towards KCR, he already has denied the allegations, and we also have told many times. Now, if the police or the government takes it forward, we will observe it definitely. And these are all the charges which are baseless. The same thing has been denied by the chief of the party himself. So there's only one confidence statement. They have arrested 4 or 5 people, and at this juncture, we can only say one thing. We will observe this. What is that they are going to say on this? Because from the day one of the Congress party coming to the power, these allegations were leveled on the party and the party chief in the form.
But if there's no fear, if there's nothing to hide, why do you have people, of course, who are evading the process, who are absconding, who are trying to really get away from the entire part of the investigation?
But as far as my knowledge is concerned, one officer is not available for the police. All remaining people were arrested, and he and the police know the information better. We are not, as a political party, track which officer is there, who is there, where they have gone. This is not the job of a political party.
No, I completely understand. But the question here is, if this is a phone tapping case, what do the police really have to gain much out of tapping phones? And they probably are doing it at the behest of somebody. And at that point in time, it was the government of Mr. KCR, the BRS government, that was in power, and that's the reason the questions are coming towards you, Mr. Sridhar Reddy.
That's up to the police officers involved, rather said to be involved, rather on whom the cases were filed. They better know it. How will a political party know it? How will I know it? They'll have to answer better. Since the allegations have come on us,
Mr. Junaidi,
I am responding to
okay. Mr. Junaidi, Sridhar Reddy believes that the BRS doesn't have to answer in this scenario.
Deepak, whatever the spokesperson from the BRS is saying is nothing but a clear denial to the fact which are now being seen, heard, watched by several people in the entire nation. What he says is there is no, the political party does not have track over the police officers, while they were having the track of all the opposition, leader of oppositions, as well as the fear within the party was seen when their own leaders were snooped. So the clear denial will lead to nowhere but to the reality, which is BRS has been involved in tapping the phone of the opposition, of the officers, as well as the leaders from their own party. That it might be the reason to sustain the power, to retain the power, or to get back to the power in 2023 elections. But unfortunately, the people of Telangana never supported by BRS, and they weren't fooled this time as they were getting fooled since so many years. Now the Congress government in Telangana will work for the betterment of people of Telangana, and whoever tried to break the constitutional fiber of the country will not be spared, and that's what is being seen. The investigation is being done. Each and every person involved, whoever it might be the bureaucrat, it might be the politician, or whoever it is, if he or she is guilty, they will not be spared. The law will take their own course of action, and they will be behind the bars. And that's what I would like to say. BRS to
Mr.
get
Lanka,
ready.
Mr. Lanka, very quickly, I want to come to you. On one hand, the
whatever
BRS
they
is
have done
facing
wrong in the
allegations of phone tapping. Meanwhile, this confession also, talks about the attempt of poaching MLAs by the BJP. They wanted to, through phone tapping, reveal this illegal means of trying to get hold of MLAs. So while, of course, this is a little, discomforting for the BRS to answer questions here about this particular confession, but this confession also opens up a Pandora's box about the BJP and its deeds, or what it was attempting to do in Telangana. So a lot of answering for you to do as well.
Nothing to do by beating around the bush. It is very clear that the allegation has come against the then TRS and BRS government and the officers who confessed or worked under the KCR. Today, the government is running by the Congress party. It is very clear that there is no scope of any kind of friendliness either with BRS or Congress as far as BJP is concerned. Today, very clearly, in the confession statement by the officers, they told that very clearly they are using it as a tool against the Kavita case, liquor scam case, so as to
You
get the
already
benefit
said that,
out
Mr.
of-
Lanka. In the beginning, we've discussed that. I've also asked enough questions to Mr. Sridhar Reddy. A part of the confession that I'm trying to also open up and bring to our viewers is the fact that this police officer says that, the BRS wanted to get an edge over the BJP. They wanted to get hold of some of the BJP leaders who are involved in poaching MLAs. Now maybe the means to get to these BJP leaders is maybe wrong through phone tapping. But the aspect that he talks about, that there was an attempt to poach, is also an aspect that needs to be looked into here, isn't it?
Whether happened phone tapping against BJP leaders only, it hasn't happened against the film stars, hasn't happened against the media houses.
It is one
hasn't
of the
happened
mentions
against-
in the confession, and since you are a part of the panel representing the BJP, I'm asking you this question. I'm not saying it was only the BJP that was.
We don't want to go into the trap of BRS and the other people. It is the bigger issue than what they are alleging. It is not confining against the BJP leaders alone. If you see that, even media houses, they haven't spared. So it is the bigger case. Don't generalize and don't make it confined for a particular thing. It is also appearing as intellectual bankruptcy by making generalizing.
You have
the
sat
issue.
through the last half an hour. I have not confined this to the BJP. We have spoken about, every aspect in this case that's being probed. We've got all angles. The reason I asked you was the mention of this particular instance, and then the top police officer saying KCR wanted to get an edge over the BJP because the enforcement directorate was after his daughter.
To Hyderabad. I am appealing you come to Hyderabad, take the opinion of the media houses who had their phones got tapped by the BRS government. You come and ask the business people against whom this tapping has happened.
I am not sitting here, Mr. Dinakar Lanka. I'm not sitting here and justifying what the BRS did if they did it, what the police officers did if they did it, on the behest of whom they did it. I'm not justifying any of it. It's a matter of investigation, and I've asked these questions to Mr. Reddy as well. But of course, you probably are uncomfortable as well answering this question. This is what it does. When cases like this emerge, when confessions like this come out, it becomes really uncomfortable for many people. But viewers, the concern here is to what level are political parties being pushed, that they have to employ such means. It's almost because they want to survive. And it's become such a vicious environment that they have to employ such vicious means to survive. And, the victims in this are people who are being snooped upon. Their privacy is being affected. But to prove such cases as well becomes a big challenge. Let's hope this case, of course, is cracked at the earliest. And somewhere there are stringent laws that do come up to ensure that, the courts, the executive somewhere can enforce laws in such a way that they can put an end to such snooping. With that, I'm going to slip into a quick break, thanking all our panelists for joining us today.